Hi, I'm Chaplain Grant, the chaplain at Country House in Wilmington, Delaware. You know that little light in your rearview mirror? And if you have a newer car, it can save a life. It's there to inform of a car's blind spots. I can remember a time when I was driving my 2002 car that did not have a blind spot warning light. I looked at my mirror, I did not see anyone, and I started to move in the lane next to me to change lanes. And it was then a car zoomed by, blowing its horns madly. I had to swerve back into my lane quickly to avoid being hit by that car. I remember thinking, wow, it's terrible when someone or something is in your blind spot. As a chaplain, it's easy to be in the blind spot of others. And maybe for you as a caregiver or someone who's helping others, you might feel the same way. And when you're in somebody's blind spot, it can be draining as you seek to give to them. So much of the focus goes to their needs, and somehow you then become in their blind spot. Have you ever reached the point in time when you feel you just cannot give anymore without receiving? In other words, your tank is in need of a refill? When a car runs out of gas in the middle of an important errand, no one benefits. You must have fuel to continue. Your needs may have been ignored, and they seek to be fulfilled. You may be the type of person whose blind spot you have because you're taking care of somebody, and the bright and painful light of their need, their illness, puts you in their blind spot. Sometimes it hurts, and we end up longing to be seen and to remove from our world that blind spot. At the same time, we must think that we have the opportunity to understand that somebody else might be in our blind spot. How awful when we have other people in our own blind spot. When we are blind to their hopes and their dreams and the desires and wishes of others. To have people in my blind spot is to keep them invisible to me, not really caring that they exist, and therefore to miss out much of the joy of being human and having their needs met. Jesus pointed out to the Pharisees their lack of sight that kept many of them in the blind spot of the Lord. Jesus said this in chapter 9 of John, verses 39 to 41. Then Jesus told him, I entered this world to render judgment, to give sight to the blind, and to show those who think they see that they are blind. Some Pharisees who were standing by nearby heard him, and they asked, Are you saying we're blind? Jesus said, If you were blind, you wouldn't be guilty. But you remain guilty because you claim that you can see. They thought they knew the way things worked. And they even thought they knew God. But what they were missing was a spiritual sight. They thought they could see, but they were blind to their own sin, to their own sufficiency, and self-satisfaction was all that they focused on. And I think we must be able to recognize when we're caring for others and doing work for others, even though they may often be blind of our own spots and they are blind of us being there, we must continue to care for others. And I think we also must be willing to increase our own awareness of our own blind spots, even employing our own side view mirror warning lights in our life. So how do we do that? First of all, we have to learn to accept the feedback of others and hear that we might have blind spots. Second, we should do some self-reflecting now and then to see if we've been attentive to those blind spots. And last, knowing the downside of our strengths. Sometimes those get in the way. So what is your blind spot? Who keeps you in their blind spot, and why is that? And what can happen to make you see again those in your blind spot? I hope you will be without blind spots.